What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, and I felt like I had to make a video about this player and this strategy. This is a tweet from Goobums from January 1st. He said he clutched up 1,000 LP in 4 days, and it was largely just playing one comp that we're going to talk about in today's video. But look at this AVP 2.20, just a beautiful graph, honestly. Like at here, it's just up, basically. So absolutely insane game from games, really, from Goobums, and we're going to watch one of those games today. I also wanted to give a shout out to Tactor. This is a website where I'm posting a ton of TFT guides, and I'm going to post a guide to this comp in the description down below. You're going to be able to see it on my link of all my comps here. And I also want to say that going to the comp and then clicking the like button helps me an insane amount, like an absolutely nutty amount. So please, if you're a real homie, then go to all of my videos and click just the little heart button and like the comp. If you just want to be like a little bit of a homie, then okay, just click the like button on this this RE comp, which is the comp that we're going to be going over today. Goobums actually on this stream a little bit, you know, not great the first few games, but he wasn't playing RE in all of them. And this game was a very, very solid game and a really, really good one to review. So if you guys aren't familiar with this comp, this is Sentinel Ahri. It's a comp that's been popping off a decent bit for a while. People were like, oh, it's, you know, like the most broken comp in the game. It's absolutely insane. And then I feel like it's fallen a little bit under the radar. There's a lot more like reroll going on right now, a lot more like AD flex going on right now. So Ahri tends to be like a few people play it per game, like maximum there's 4 people going it, which is like, that's not ideal for you to play it. But even then, sometimes you can just like hard force it. Goobums, a decent opener already. This Corki and this Kaisa, just very, very strong units to hold on to in the current meta. This Corki unit is just broken, so buy him almost any chance you get. He also item holds pretty well for Ahri, surprisingly enough. We have this blue buff. If you can get to, or we have this tier, if you can get to a blue buff, it's really, really nice. We got a gold opener here, so I assume we're going to make gold and then hold on to these Heartsteel units. Yup. Just in case we happen to get a Heartsteel chosen, our spot will be absolutely nuts. I also just realized, looks like we're on 1 time speed. What am I doing here? 2 times speed it up. I can't wait for Goobums to buy all these units and stuff like this. He's looking at the potential to actually make gold here, and yeah, he is going to go for it with the dummy. What a cool angle. Because we have the dummy, this Tahm Kench can actually solo 1-4, so he is going to opt to just do that and make 20 gold here. I think it makes a ton of sense. He even got some more gold, so he didn't even have to go this, but he didn't know for sure that he was going to be a full gold opener. So yeah, cool tech as well to see that. Augment-wise here, Ascension is a great augment for the comp, but just not really that good early. None of these are that great early. You'd love some kind of like econ augment here, but can't get it. Combat Caster is just generally a broken augment, so yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable for us to pick that up. And he's looking at if he wants to full open in a spot like this. I think a few days ago, he definitely would, and like a lot of people were just full opening every single game in this galaxy. I do feel, though, that the prevalence of full opening has actually gone down a good bit. I was talking about this a little bit in my video the other day, or just yesterday, about how, like, full open, it's already kind of dying out a little bit. Even in this galaxy, which it's really, really broken to full open in, there's less and less people full opening. There's just more and more people saying, I'm going to play an early game board because killing units matters, because saving HP in TFT is actually like a really, really nice thing to do for your ability to play the game. And if you can even just kill 1 or 2 units per fight, that is a ton of HP saved by the late game, especially in a meta like this where people can cap out really high with stuff like Heartsteel. It's really, really scary if you just full open every single game and take infinite damage. Now, he did see that he had Lemon VIP, this person in his pool, who decided to full open, so he's going to full open into them. It is still really, really good in this galaxy. So all of that being said, especially if there's someone else full opening, in this galaxy specifically, you should probably go for it, because if you guys don't know, in this galaxy, when every player gets a dummy, this fight will, if it's full open versus full open, will be a tie, and both players will receive a 0 unit loss, which is just insane. It's just like really, really good value. Curious to see what happens here, because he fought Lemon VIP. I'm wondering, is anyone else full open? This person isn't full open. It's becoming likely that we're just going to hold on to some units, right? I guess the only issue is, okay, no, yeah, he's going to sell. Maybe so that he can, oh yeah, and then DQA also full open. So we've actually fought, I think, not sure. I guess we'll have to scout one more time. We'll have to scout one more time to see if anyone else is full open, but fighting 2 full openers already is really, really nice. And by selling the Senna, we actually get to hold on to this Echo, which is disgusting. I assume he's going to go for tier here for the potential Ari comp, but I mean, already this open. I guess the only downside is actually because we've fought all these openers, we're less rich than we should be. But yeah, he's going to pick up the tier. It's also on a set, which is just so gross, which means maybe we could get like Heartsteel, and if we like Giga High Roll, Heartsteel chosen, or just 2 Heartsteel from this spot, and then we can just accelerate our econ by an insane amount. So very, very good start for us. He's going to play the Echo plus the set plus the Jinx here. And yeah, he probably is going to scout one more time to see, like if Toronto Tokyo is full open, because if you're losing in a spot like this, it makes sense to full open. But yeah, it looks like no one else is full open, so we are not just going to full open and then take our hands off the keyboard and like do like Kai does when I watch him on Twitch and he like goes to the bathroom or something like that. We are going to play the early game a bit, see that no one else is full open, and we're going to try to kill as many units as possible. Unfortunately, we actually fight this Olaf player, so we can't win this. This is pretty cool. Where he actually decided to level in a spot like that, because he realized like, okay, it's only gonna cost me 1 gold to level here, so I might as well actually go for it, have a better odds of getting like a solid headliner and stuff like that. There's this Seraphine in shop, which is really interesting. The only downside is it's really expensive, but yeah, he's gonna go for it. I mean, she's a really nice item holder when you have a mana item. I feel like that is the crucial point that needs to be made there. If you have a mana item for the Seraphine, she's a great item holder for Ari. If you just have, like, say, the Gunblade, she's going to do nothing at all. But with the mana item, she's actually really, really nice. We also already have Echo Pair. This is looking to be a really, really nice opener for Ari. And now he's just going to scout and see, okay, how many other people are looking Ari? And it really didn't look like there were very many, if any at all, people angling Ari, which is really nice. He also already has their placement Seraphine. Gets dropped Belt here, which should always be Nashers in this comp. The Glove, which is usually going to be a frontline item. Get drop a full Gunblade, which is not bad either. And yeah, we are rocking and rolling on our way to play. That was kind of cringe. On our way to play Ari here. I assume we'll make Gunblade Slam if it's going to save us HP, but you do still want to lose this fight. We're 5 loss streak, 76 HP. So like if you fight someone Giga weak, then we can decide to not slam. But yeah, look at this person with a Jax headliner. Their board's pretty strong, so we are going to go for the slam. Though this Jax unit is so swingy, right? Like, because you could have seen in that fight, like if Jax had died early, we actually could have won that fight. But because he doesn't, we end up losing the fight. We're going to pre-level to 6 because we're so rich. Augment-wise here, I don't know how good What the Forge is in this comp. I'm curious to see if he takes it. Buried Treasures seems like a very solid augment in general, though. Hologram also probably not too bad. I think he was angling Hologram there, but then he just gets the stationary support, which seems really nice. I can imagine Hologram being really broken, because either you get double Ari, or you get like a double Blitzcrank or something like that, which I think that's what he was going for there. I can't imagine that he was going for Freaky Friday. So yeah, I think the Buried Treasures is not bad either, though. The only problem is, like, we can't make use of a ton of different item components. Like, stuff like swords at this point are going to be completely dead for us. We want 1 bow, but any more bows, I mean, I guess they can go towards red buff. We can use a lot of components, I would say. Maybe, like, cloaks are kind of awkward because we'd have to just make, like, Declaw or something. We're finally going to fight Toronto Tokyo's pretty weak board. He took... Wow, what is... I mean, I guess he's just playing some kind of AD, like a ribbon type game there with the golden ticket, though. So yeah, that makes sense. We're going to pick up an Echo here, which is a really nice pickup. We are going to get 5 KDA in here. And yeah, this is just going to be our board, a Spellweaver Sentinel board, making sure to give the Locket and the Zeke's value to all these backliners. I wonder if we're just going to keep this on the backline the entire game. How long does Locket Shield last now? I think they buffed it back up to be a decent amount of time, right? Because, like, back in, that was set 9, right, with the horrible Locket stacking, where they had to nerf it down to, like, an incredibly small amount of time, but then they rebuffed it. Now that's a support item, and you can't build Locket anymore. Makes sense. But yeah, 67 HP. The Seraphine has done a really good job of stabilizing us, like I talked about. We'd love to pick up a bow here. There's a bow Lulu and a bow Zed, so we can probably just finish off our Ari items here, if I have to imagine. I wonder, yeah, you do take the Lulu here, because you kind of... She's not a bad unit to play. You could even play her over the Gragas. The problem is that you're losing out on a bit of frontline, but I wonder if you do just go for it anyway, just because she's so much of a better unit. I mean, you're leveling here regardless, so I guess you could level for just the Lulu, yeah, and just play this setup. Yeah, so he's just going to level for the Lulu, keep the Gragas in as just sort of a random guy. Yeah, what would you play over this? True Damage, perhaps? The problem is True Damage doesn't really do anything on this board. He's going to get 5 Spellweaver in over the 5 KDA. Actually, thinking about this, I kind of like this a lot. The Akali wasn't really doing much, and 5 Spellweaver, especially with the Zeeks, your units are going to be casting so much, especially now that we have the blue buff Nashers onto the Seraphine. We're going to be stacking Spellweaver really well. He's going to opt to not make gold here. Yeah, because you could sell these guys and make gold, but it's actually a really controlled play there. He's going to say, I don't want to make 50 in this spot. There's a chance that I want to play around the Gragas, play with like the Kaisa on my board, so I'm going to opt to not make gold there. I assume this goes in over Akali. The only question is it a little bit like, is it too expensive to make? And Goobums is going to say, yeah. The difference between Kaisa and Akali here is not worth it, especially because like maybe there's a world where we play some kind of Ahri Akali game. I think that board kind of stinks, but maybe there is a world where we play it. But yeah, we're going to win this fight, and it's a 4 streak for us. Really, really nice, because this board, I mean, the fact that we hit the Seraphine and then got the Echo 2 allowed us to play quite a strong board. And yeah, at this point, we are forcing Ahri. I'm curious to see how Goobums does the roll down. Like, if he just does this really fast and looks at, like, basically nothing but Sentinels and Ahri, I wouldn't be completely surprised. Or maybe he's keeping the option open of playing some kind of AP comp as well. The bow and the tier just become static Shiv. We can maybe make a Declaw here. I'm curious to see what he actually goes for. Because if you don't go for Declaw, your items are pretty awkward. The problem is Declaw, depending on the lobby, can sometimes be kind of weak. But yeah, he's just going to put the static Shiv Lulu in. Really, really nice to get Tread in this comp. The only sort of like supplementary thing that we need that we don't have yet is healing reduction. And we don't actually have a component. Like, we don't have a belt or another bow for like a red buff or like a Morello or a Sunfire. So it's going to be interesting if we can get to healing reduct this game, because healing reduct really, really nice in a fight like this that plays for long fights. Definitely something you want to prioritize. We also need to get some frontline items though. Also, this person we just fought had Ahri too. Kind of scary. I'm going to go down to 1x speed for the 4-2 roll down because people said they liked that. Augment-wise here, I don't know if Infusion is good in this comp. It looks like he's rolling it. Healing Orbs is really, really solid, I believe, just because it can heal up your front line really well. You have my bow is interesting. He's going to go for the Harm Assist over the Healing Orbs. So today I learned that Harm Assist is better than Healing Orbs in this comp. It kind of makes sense. It's a Sona immediately, which is really, really good. Sona, a very beneficial unit in this comp. It's an Akali, it's a Blitzcrank. Great pickup so far. There is Sentinel Blitzcrank and Blitzcrank pair. He's just going to say Sentinel Blitzcrank is good enough. And maybe we're going to end up playing 2 Blitzcranks on this board. He's going to hit the Lulu too, who's a nice sort of like item holder or just like supplementary unit for now. We still haven't hit an Ahri, which is the scary thing. And it looks like this is going to be the end of their roll down. He's going to continue to play this 5 Spellweaver board. Just the Sentinels in. Okay, no, he's going to get KDA in. Yeah, he's going to get KDA in here. And then looking like he's going to have to item hold Lulu, which is a little bit awkward. Yeah, he's going to go blue buff. He's going to go the Gunblade on the Akali and then blue buff Nashers on the Lulu. So in some ways a very high roll down, and in some ways a very low roll down. We hit the 2 Blitzcranks plus the Blitzcrank chosen. We didn't see a single Ahri. He didn't roll that much gold, and we saw the Sona. I would say overall a very, very nice roll down for Goobums here. And the question is, at what point do we roll and try to find Ahri? Is it at 4-5? Do we wait all the way until 5-1? This is something I'm not familiar with this comp, is like when you do this this sort of like secondary roll down if you can't actually hit Ahri here. I think this will be helpful for a lot of people though, because a lot of people say like, oh, you know, I'm hard forcing this comp. I didn't see an Ahri. Okay, GG's, we're going 8th. I'm not going to put any items on any units because I didn't see Ahri. I'm just going to roll until I find Ahri. But Goobums realizes that we have Lulu 2 here. Our board is upgraded enough. We can just play around these Sentinels. And, you know, it's not an insane board. We're still going to lose to this guy who has a really insane board, this true damage Caitlyn. But it's still a good enough board to keep us alive and get us to the next sort of like stage where we can roll. Also notice that he hasn't opted to make this Declaw yet. Maybe thinking that the item is just not really worth taking. I think the Chain Vest makes perfect sense here. It is a what is it called? Heart. It's not Heart Steel. It's Steadfast Heart in this comp. He also could have picked up an Ahri there, but it would have been another it would have been another cloak, which is really awkward to get rid of at this point. The Declaw is solid, but you know, if you have to go Declaw and then another cloak item, it's a lot. Roll once here just because we're going to be 20 gold regardless. I'm also curious if he holds on to this Alawi. I feel like Alawi's not the best in this comp just because it's hard to fit her in over all of these Sentinels, and like getting 6 Sentinel for Blitzcrank I think would be better than getting the Tentacles in, but he's holding on to it now, and like it's definitely something that he's looking at here. The Lulu is scaled up a bunch, and the Blitzcrank is also just so tanky that we end up winning this fight, which is pretty nice here. Since we have the Seraphine too, we don't need to hold on to this anymore. But yeah, at this point, we're just holding on to our Sentinels. He opted to not 4-5 just because I don't think he was like rich enough to really want to roll deep there. And at this point, he's just scouting and seeing, okay, like how contested am I? How many of these Ahris are out of the pool? Do I have a chance at finding Ahri here? Looks like he still does. He's still relatively uncontested. I think there's one other person playing the comp. So a pretty good lobby, all things considered, for playing Ahri, just because of how uncontested it is. And this Lulu, beautiful item holder, right? We're going to beat this person who has a Bard 3 on their board, which also a really strange board that they have there. Very interesting. But yeah, we're going to win that fight. And now the question comes, are we rolling at 8? I guess you could maybe have the idea to be really greedy and go 9. think that's right. I felt like I've tried to play the really greedy 9 play style and been punished before, but I don't know. Maybe there's a world. Belt would be really nice for some kind of like Warmogs, but then you'd have to make Titans. Warmogs is probably... Oh, but you do need a healing reduction still, so maybe it's... I mean, the thing is, you can go Sunfire, and then like you could make Sunfire red buff, but then you have double healing, so double healing Redux, so it doesn't really make any sense, but kind of funny. But yeah, he's just going to go for the Sunfire, wants to prioritize that heal Reduc on this board, just so important. And yeah, he's going to roll a bit here, kind of runs out of time, honestly. I think it kind of looked like he wanted to roll a bit more and try to fix his board here, because now he has a Blitzcrank 2 on bench, which I assume you could just play as just a really tanky guy, but I guess we will see what his final board ends up being. You know, like this KDA is nice and all, but like once we get to something like an Ari, and yeah, there's Mordekaiser 2, which I have to assume that you make. It almost looks like he's not gonna roll here. Wow, this is greedy TFT. He's gonna say my board is good enough here, which, like, honestly, this is a very scary call for me. Like, I don't think his board looks amazing. Here's the other player who ended up playing Ari. He's holding onto this Ari plus this Akali, and just duo carrying Ari Akali with Sentinel frontline and just a Thresh. So like kind of a almost standard Ari Akali board. But yeah, I mean, look how close this fight. Did we win? I think we won this fight with Lulu just because of our augments and because of the units. And that's a level 9 Kurum board. I'm kind of shocked that we even won that fight, considering we're carrying a Lulu. But I mean, apparently Lulu is good enough. 10k damage with Harm Assist Combat Caster. Like, it's actually just good enough, which is absolutely insane to me. So now I guess we're very, very confidently going 9. We're 60 HP and still win streaking here. Really cool game to show how, like, even if you miss on Ari, like, I think a lot of people would have been really scared when they missed on Ari there. But Goobums played around the Lulu too and just said, you know what, she's good enough as an item carrier. I can hold this and, like, potentially go 9. Now he takes kind of a big loss. So, like, if you wanted to roll an 8, you could do it next round. But, like, I feel like we've come this far. We're just going 9 at this point. But I guess we will see. There's a Hyper Pop spat. There's also an Ari with a Gunblade, which would guarantee that Ari. The Gunblade's like a little bit weird, but it does guarantee Ari, which is really nice. I'm curious here if he opts to just cut the Lulu for Ari immediately. Looks like he does, yeah. It's just like this unit is so good with these items. And yeah, he's just going to roll down here, try to find Ari 2-star in this spot. We have a ton of gold, so he's pretty confident that he can hit it. And man, oh man, he takes a lot of gold, but he finally gets there. And yeah, now he's going to pivot back into the Sentinel board and move these items over to Sona because she's a solid item holder. Well, no, she's just a solid late game unit. And now, finally, at 5-5, we hit the board. We didn't go 9. We decided, okay, it's good enough to just roll for RE2 here. RE2 spikes the board really hard, and we can get the double blitzes in. And there's even a chance that he could have hit blitz 3 on this roll down. Like, it's very, very close. And so, yeah, now we have finally pivoted back into the standard Ari board. For anyone who's curious, Goobums has said that he always prefers Sona over the Seraphine, which I know it's very sad you lose KDA, but the upside is too high. Sona just makes your board scale that much harder. When she gets a cast off, it feels like you're going to auto win. Like, if you can get to Sona cast without losing a fight, you basically end up winning the fight. So I think that's, you know, definitely the reason why we end up going for this here. The only board that we can lose to is another board playing Sona. And yeah, we're going to lose to Kurum's level 10 board here. Now at this point, I assume we're going to push levels. There is someone with a Blitzcrank, so it's going to be hard for us to find Blitzcrank 3. And if anyone else is holding 1, then it's literally impossible. But maybe we get dropped a duplicator or something and we can just find Blitz 3. I wouldn't count on it though. I assume we're gonna go 9 for sort of like max cap. We could even just get this Alawian. Redemption is a really, really nice sort of like secondary tank item in this comp. It just allows you to make your tanks even tankier. I assume that's gonna go on second Blitzcrank, and second Blitz is gonna go next to main Blitz. And yeah, don't talk to me or my brother ever again. And we're just gonna put the 2 blitzes next to each other and they're gonna do work. We're fighting this this Jazz reroll board with no That's Jazz Baby, which is pretty wild. I wonder if they have the damage to get through our board, because this board does have a lot of consistent damage. That's Jazz board with the Gwinsu. It's actually really, really close. Yeah, and the That's Jazz board is just barely gonna get through our front line and then kill everything. Kind of scary, but yeah, it could end up even from this spot being a third, which is kind of crazy. Opts to sell the extra Alawi, and he's just rolling down here. I'm not sure for what exactly. I think, okay, so he's gonna get Seraphine in here, get KDA back in, but that means he's dropped out of 6 Sentinel. Wow, he's gonna drop down out of 6 Sentinel and play 5 Spellweaver. I think his idea is that he just needs more damage on this board, especially versus like the That's Jazz board. Like, he can't really like scale, or it's not That's Jazz, but you know, it's the Jazz board. He says like, I need to ramp up faster or I am going to die. And like 5 spellweaver is really, really nice. It also might be that he just prefers this as the highest capped version of the board, which I could see for sure. Just saying, you know, like, you get KDA back in, you get to play around 5 spellweaver. You also get bruiser in for Alawi. Yeah, he probably thinks this is just the highest cap version of the board, where you cut down to 4 sentinel late game and just play 5 spellweaver. Especially in a spot like this where you have the Alawi, you have so much frontline, you have the 2 blitzcranks for a ton of frontline as well. We're gonna go down to 1 HP here. Kind of unfortunate that we had to fight that true damage player. We fought their ghost and then we fought their real. There is a blitzcrank here, but at this point, you know, that ship has sailed. We're not hitting blitz 3, and I still don't know if it's even physically possible. He's just going to pick up the Seraphian with item component. Going to find a second Sona, and now he can move Shojin over to the Sona, which is really, really nice. That's why he took this Shojin, so that he can have a mana item on Sona, because Sona, you just want her to be able to cast as much as possible. The Gunblade wasn't doing much. We're just going to move the Gunblade over to Blitzcrank to give him some AP and some, you know, stats. I think he's going to do some amount of damage for his ability, but not an insane amount. We're fighting this player again, but really, really crucially, the Ahri gets onto backline pretty quickly, and we end up dropping them down to 5 HP. So it's going to be, looks like, one more fight to determine who's top 2. It looks like this Lemon VIP guy has capped out really, really high. I haven't seen their board. Oh yeah, they're the true damage board. Well, I mean, true damage potentially winning a lobby would not surprise anyone, I would say. Looks like we are fighting them, but we got Clone. Okay, there is justice in the world. So we fought Clone here, so we are likely going to be Clone. I guess we'll see. I don't know how Clone exactly works with true damage, but it certainly looked like this version was a bit weaker, though not the easiest of fights, and it is going to be a top 2. I don't know if we can, unless we just magically get like a duplicator plus like a Sona 2 here. It seems really, really hard for us to cap out and like actually finish this comp off, but still, I mean, a top 2 is certainly a top 2, and it's a really, really cool game that shows how to play around this comp. But, you know, like, hard force it, but kind of like light hard force it, you know, like hard force it, but you know how to play when you miss, which I think is really important, especially if you're going to be hard forcing a comp like this, to sort of like have a game plan if you miss. He's even going to sell this the Sona again, and then move the Adapticone over to her. Oh no, move the Static Shiv over to Seraphine and put the Adapticone on her so that she just has a third real item. Makes a lot of sense. Just, you know, try to have as many actually real items on Sona as possible. It is going to end up being a loss for Goobums though. So that's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, again, please, 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 if you could, go check out my Tactor link down below. Clicking on the guides helps me a lot, and liking the guides helps me out an insane amount. So if you could, like the guides and click on the one. I'm going to have a guide specifically for this Ahri comp down below. It'll be the most recent one. I'm literally working on it right now. It's called... This is a fake. I had to put this in, but hard force this comp every game. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.